add about a cup of almond milk to the mix. Then you're gonna add some protein, and then I usually throw in a whole banana. Then we're gonna add some protein. Now what I like to do, just for a little bit of taste, is add some protein. Then I usually add 1/2 of protein. Now of course it wouldn't really be a shake without some ice cubes. So we're gonna add some protein.
So, as the title suggests, this video is going to be, or at least include, a small insight into whether or not you should consider the timing of your protein intake. This all stemmed from a conversation I had about whether or not acute ingestion of protein, i.e. 1 to 2 hours prior to training, can lead to any favourable outcomes in respect to them feeling less sore or better adaptations to that training session. This conversation stemmed to whether or not acute ingestion of protein, either prior to training or after, leads to any long-term benefits. So it definitely was and is a valid question, but you'll have to wait till the next clip to hear my insight and some potential takeaways you can begin implementing in respect to your current dietary regime. I think that use that method are a bit more versatile, and you see a lot of, at least from videos I've seen, people play a lot. But the problem with the common statement, now what's up here, if your head is in the center line, so normally what happens is, not normally, but what I was like to do is even if you get strong down the right, let's talk a bit about protein.
I love protein. I love protein too.
Yeah, protein rocks. So you guys talk about protein? I love protein. I love protein too.
We know you love protein.
So protein timing is, or was, originally implemented in hopes to enhance the adaptive responses made from training. Essentially, it involves the ingestion of protein in and around training sessions to enhance or facilitate better muscular repair, remodeling, and the adaptive responses made from strength training. So protein is a critical nutrient for enhancing the post-exercise protein synthesis. Now, even though there might be some biological plausibility for the effectiveness of such a strategy, the results from long-term studies is decidedly mixed. So, in a review of the literature, it was concluded that there is a lack of evidence to support a narrow anabolic window of opportunity, whereby protein needs to be consumed in immediate proximity to the exercise bout to maximize muscular adaptations. However, these results are potentially in part due to the methodological issue. And one methodological issue in particular is the small sample sizes. The article further goes on to conclude that these results refute the commonly held belief that the timing of protein intake in and around a training session is critical to muscular adaptations, and indicate that consuming adequate protein in combination with resistance exercise is the key factor for maximizing muscle protein accretion and potentially recovery. So the important factor here is that if protein intake is adequately achieved, then there is no real need to micromanage the post-anabolic window. Meaning if protein intake is matched, acute or short-term differences in protein intake will unlikely lead to any significant differences in the long term. That said, there is always a bit of nuance to such statements.
And then I usually throw in a whole banana. Then we're gonna add some protein.
And to hedge your bets, the literature suggests that compared to consuming all your protein intake in one small window, say if you're intermittent fasting, literature suggests spreading your protein intake throughout the day equally, and that a protein-rich meal be consumed 1 to 2 hours pre and post-training. It sounds like I've contradicted myself. However, in respect to ingesting protein acutely due to the fact that you're sore by the end of a training week, it may do of little benefit. As with most things, it's going to be multifaceted as to why you're sore. And provided you're already hitting your protein targets throughout the week, it's unlikely that the ingestion of protein prior to that training session that day or after that training session that day, within the anabolic window, will have a noticeable impact on the way you feel. Meaning, protein intake that day within that acute setting will unlikely lead to any noticeable changes that day. More reasonable is if you find yourself being an individual who fasts throughout the week and is consuming their protein intake in a smaller window, a strategy that may be useful to enhance recovery throughout the entire week will be increasing the frequency in which that you consume protein. It may be a useful strategy if you're looking to facilitate recovery, or maintaining and potentially even building strength was your goal. I hope this clears up a good clarification, and peace. I'll see you in the next one.